Morning, Saints. I'm Mason Shields.
I'm Zach Jeanette, and welcome back to SFHS Today. In world news, a civilian employee kills 4 at Paris Police Headquarters, says CBS News. The raging employee started the attack in his office, then moved to other parts of the building before fleeing the scene and eventually being shot and killed by the French authorities.
In national news, U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly called on Ukraine and China to officially investigate Joe Biden and his son. Mr. Trump has accused Mr. Biden and his son Hunter of corruption in their political and business dealings with China, but offered no specific evidence.
In local news, the Minnesota Twins finally won the conference. After a long, hard-fought season and breaking the MLB home run record, the Twins officially clinched to play the Yankees on Friday in the American League Divisional Series.
In school news, a fight broke out following Pep Fest on Monday, which got reporters Hunter Dustman and Brooke Honingschmidt interested in investigating consequences for school violence. They spoke with administration and students to find out more.
What are the disciplinary actions for kids fighting?
Well, the consequences for fighting is 3-day suspension. It's a combination of 1 day out of school, 2 days in school. If you do fight a second time, it's going to be a recommendation for expulsion.
Although we were unable to get an interview with Assistant Principal Donnie Thompson, he did mention that fights at St. Francis are rare. He also said that at his previous principal position, there were 90 fights the year before he got there. Mr. Krause, you went to high school here. Do you see a difference in the causes of fighting?
Well, the biggest difference that right off the top of my head is fights back when I was in school was basically over girls. Nowadays, it seems like there's way more involvement with social media.
I think fighting in school or out of school is not a good idea, and there's other ways to resolve your problems.
In other investigative reporting, Easton Ogg, Cordy Parfetti, and Parker Peterson will give us a deeper look into parking pass prices in our school.
Today we are interviewing students and staff on their thoughts of parking permit prices.
Do you think parking passes are overpriced?
Yes, I do, because I don't know, what else would they do with the parking lot? Like, we only park there for 7 hours a day.
What do you think they should be priced?
Probably around 25 or 30.
I mean, I think they're a little overpriced, maybe only like $20 a trimester, something like that, because you don't want to rip off the students that are going to your school.
I think it's pretty baloney that I have to pay $60 to park my truck here when everything else is free at school.
I think a lot of students can't afford parking passes. I know they work and stuff, but most of the time students can't afford it.
What do you think they should be priced at?
I think they should be about $20 a trimester and $60 for the year. So.
What does the money from parking passes go towards?
Parking pass permit money goes to pay for my position, and it also helps pay for the maintenance of the parking lot.
What does all your job in the parking lot entail?
Well, my job is more than just the parking lot. Obviously, any of you kids who drive know that I'm greeting you in the morning. I like to see what kind of mood everybody is in. I'm also checking for parking permits on your windshields. I try to reduce vandalism in the parking lot, so I check for suspicious people that are hanging out in the parking lot. After everybody's in school, I will patrol the main lot and the front lot and the east lot and the lower lot. And normally each day I find kids that left their headlights on, so if they have a parking permit, I can look at the number, I notify the front desk, and we can get the students out of class and hopefully get their lights shut off before they come out to dead batteries. After I patrol the parking lots, I make sure that the doors on the school are secure and patrol the hallways, checking for passes. I'll even check from the inside of the building to make sure doors are secure or that exits aren't blocked. In some of the hallways, people tend to stack things up, chairs and stuff, and in the event we need to get out of the building quickly, it's bad news to have those doors blocked. I monitor Saints time, I monitor the lunch hours, and continue patrolling the halls, patrolling the hallways, and that type of thing. In general, I'm in charge of trying to keep students and staff safe in the school.
Along with the parking lot, attendant Brad Rolfe does many things to help students at SFHS. Homecoming was last Friday. In a twist, Homecoming Court and Royalty did not find out what they were nominated until Monday's Pet Fest. Sophie DeRoy and Caitlin Riley interviewed the court and got information about the Pet Fest.
I'm Caitlin. And I'm Sophie. We went out and got you a recap of Homecoming Pet Fest and interviews with Homecoming Court.
Our first couple is Bri Hemmeter and Trevor Patterson.
I did not expect to be picked at all. It was just a surprise. And, yeah.
How do you feel?
Oh, I think it's fun. It's gonna be fun.
It was kind of like a shock, and yeah, I feel like it's gonna be cool, fun experience. I feel like the student council is doing a really good job in like getting more spirit into the school, and I feel like there's just more pep.
Yeah, I agree with her. It's a lot more fun this year. And,
Second couple is Lily Beaver and Gunnar Grams.
I did not expect to be picked, and I feel ecstatic about it.
I was kind of surprised. I mean, I had friends who kind of mentioned they might vote for me, but you know, you never know. So, and it's exciting.
It's a lot more involved with the students, a lot more to it. I think it's pretty good.
I like the way it's announced better. Like, I kind of like that the girls didn't have to like walk down in front of the school in like the dress and like the heels and stuff. I feel like it's less stressful, and I think the dance will be fun, and it's a good way to get everyone together.
Brooke Huntington and Simon Lucco.
I expect it, and I feel honored that I was picked.
Yeah, exact same. I had no idea. I don't know who nominated me, but I feel very honored.
I think they should do it at the Pep Fest like last year, because not a lot of people could probably make it to the dance, or if they couldn't.
I think it's kind of smart. I think it's building a lot of hype for homecoming, to start the week with the Pep Fest, and then we were all surprised, which I think was kind of a new twist on it, and then it kind of all builds up into the game on Friday and the dance on Saturday. So I think it's kind of cool.
Lily Syke and Alex Osborne.
I did not expect to be picked for Homecoming King, or the Homecoming Court at all, actually. I was very surprised.
I told my friends to vote for me as a joke, but it turns out all of them took it serious. So, I mean, I guess I kind of expected it, but...
I think I actually like it a lot better this year because nobody knows who's going to be picked. It's kind of a fair chance, I guess. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you do kind of get, or, I don't know, the element of surprise is better. Because, I mean, knowing who is at, like, in the court for, like, almost 2 weeks is kind of, like, dragging it on.
Steve Schultz and Ryan Schoner.
No, I didn't expect to be picked, but, I don't know, I was, like, kind of excited. I don't know, it was something different.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be picked either, but I was excited when it happened.
I think being it was kind of a surprise for the candidates. I thought it was kind of cool. I liked it more than the previous years.
Yeah, well, student council came up with it, so I thought like we could try something new, and I feel like everyone liked it a little bit more.
The homecoming king is Simon Lucco.
The homecoming queen is Eve Schultz.
In our 5 minutes of fame featured this week, we spoke with singer Tess Humphrey, who recently competed in Minnesota Sings.
Student celebrities everywhere, this is why you should care about 5 minutes of fame.
What activities are you a part of?
I manage the St. Francis volleyball team. I am a member of Bridge Street Singers. I'm in theater. I do bands through the school.
and madrigals this year.
About the singing competition you participated in this weekend?
This weekend I participated in Minnesota Sings, which is basically from every town in Minnesota, you have someone go and represent your town. So like I sang for St. Francis, so I went and I auditioned through Hastings Sings, so it wasn't even, like Hastings has their own, Laconia has their own, I think, in like big school areas, and we don't have that, so I auditioned through Hastings. And so I was one of the 64 people chosen to sing at the actual competition this weekend, and I performed on Saturday, and then on Sunday I got moved up to the second half, which was 32 people, and then that's as far as I advanced.
And I knew there would be moments that I'd miss, and I knew there would be space I couldn't fill, and I knew I'd come up short a million different ways.
How does Tess stand out from others?
Honestly, I think it's her personality. She's so sweet. I've known her a really long time because we were neighbors growing up. And she's just so sweet to everyone and outgoing, and she makes an effort to talk to everyone.
I would say that Tess stands out from other students with her confidence. I think she's a really confident performer and artist with whatever she does, actually.
She has extremely good stage presence. She's so entertaining to watch because anytime she sings or acts, she pretty much puts her all into it. And she walks around, she makes eye contact, she just does a really good job at keeping the audience involved.
Tess has a lot of skills that makes her a really great performer. Like I said, she's confident, so that translates really well into becoming a really good performer. She's also a really skilled musician. She has a good ear, and she's well versed in different parts of being a skillful performer as well.
She always has a positive attitude, and she always tries to get everybody involved and gets everybody hyped up for rehearsals. And she always is never negative. She makes sure that like everyone feels included in practices, and it's just, she makes everything fun.
Yeah, Tess is a really dedicated musician and part of our teams. She's always a really good counter. Like we start practice and she counts the loudest out of everybody else, and that pumps everybody else up to reach her bar, and she puts a lot into everything that she does.
On Friday during school, everybody gathered on the football field for a mass photo. We spoke with school board member Mike Starr and got a little footage of his drone at work.
We've done all senior class picture before, but we thought it would be cool for one of the divider pages to have the whole school out here.
We have a DJI Phantom 4 drone, and we're here today to get a nice picture from the drone of the whole high school here at St. Francis on the football field for homecoming.
Before we go, let's see the RQT thought for this week.
It's the random question thing, ding.
Do you get candy or popcorn when you go to a movie?
When I go to a movie, I usually just sneak in some Reese's Cups. Probably my favorite thing to do.
You know, I get both. Sometimes I smuggle it in and throw the candy in the popcorn.
Probably candy.
What kind?
Skittles.
Popcorn.
Butter or no butter?
Prefer not to have butter, but my wife likes butter, so I have cheese and butter and extra salt.
Candy.
What kind?
Sour Patch Kids.
Now let's pass it over to sports.
Hello, Saints. I'm Jared Hayter, and welcome to sports. On Monday, the seniors beat the juniors in the Powerbuff volleyball game 3-0. On Tuesday during Saints time, the freshmen and sophomores battled it out in a good old-fashioned game of dodgeball, with the freshmen coming out victorious. On Wednesday, the seniors and juniors competed in the Powder Puff football game, with the seniors dominating the juniors and winning 18-0. Last week in sports, volleyball played Blaine on Tuesday and lost 1-3. They played Becker on Thursday at home for Teacher Appreciation Night and Youth Night. They won with a score of 3-0. We spoke with Coach Tracy Norton just following their big win.
Well, it was Teacher Appreciation, so it was nice to see the teachers in the stand, and it was also Youth Night tonight, so it was good to have all those little girls in the stand watching. We started slow, but we ended up winning 3-0, so it was nice to see us go through the game, ups and downs, and still finish with a win.
Underclassman Bri Hemmeter got moved up to play varsity. She is our Rookie of the Week.
Hi, Tate.
Hi, Miss Norton. How is Bri as a player, coaching her?
So Bri just recently moved up to varsity. Last week we moved her up, and we see a lot of potential in Bri. Bri has a motor on her that I'd like to see more of, but she jumps really well. She has a really quick reaction jump, and we are utilizing her to block on our right side and possibly move her to our middle. But so far so good. She's a sophomore. She's young, but she's fitting in really well with our varsity team.
And what made you want to move her up from JV?
So we were lacking a bit on our right side blocking and our middle blocking, and so she is the next person, and out of all of our kids, she probably gets over the net the best.
And what does she bring to the team for the future?
So Bri is going to really help our defense with our blocking, and it changes how our opposing hitters hit when you have a large block in front of them. And so we're hoping to really hone in on shutting down offenses with her.
What is the difference between playing varsity volleyball and JV volleyball?
It's definitely more fast-paced, a little more intimidating, but it's more fun being in like a fast-paced environment.
How does it feel to be starting after playing JV?
It's definitely kind of like shocking because, I didn't expect it, but it's been really fun. The girls are really helpful, so they make it fun.
Are you happy with how you've been playing on varsity so far?
So far, yes, but I do want to work on quite a few things, but I feel like it can get done in the time being.
How is Bri as a teammate?
I think she's a great teammate. She's really positive and really optimistic about doing new things. We've put her in a few different positions that she's not used to being in that she really adapted to, so that was really nice to have her in.
Cambridge SANU and won 1-0 with Maddie Mensing scoring the only goal. Guys soccer played Monticello in a home game and won 4-1 with Hunter Doherty scoring 3 goals and Jack Russum scoring 1. Cross country continues their season despite some colder weather. We'll have more with them next week. And on Friday, football played Rogers in the homecoming game, but sadly lost to the 4-1 team. Those were the highlights from this past week. Tennis is starting to wrap up its season, and soccer looks ahead to tournament play. Volleyball plays Andover away today, and Chisago at home on Thursday, and football plays Andover on the Huskies' home turf this Friday. That's all we have for this week.
Make sure to check out our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook account for more news.
That's all we have for you this week, Saints.
Stay safe, Saints.